All right, and we're live. All right, I want to thank everybody for coming out. This is Goblin Games. It's going to be a 5e D&D game. It's going to be lighthearted and silly. I want to remind everybody before we start that this is also for charity. This is a great charity, Child's Play. It was started by the guys who do Penny Arcade, and it's the money raised goes to children who are terminally ill or very, very sick and have difficulty getting out of bed. The money buys them video games and books and RPGs and things for fun. So it's a good cause. If you got a few bucks, throw it their way. All right, so we're going to start off by, I'm just going to quickly have you guys introduce yourselves as your players. Then we're going to start, and then you'll get a chance to introduce yourself as your characters. So if you have a YouTube channel, feel free to mention it. Mine is The Swamper. And I'll just go from left to right. So Chad, you got a YouTube channel you want to talk about or tell us who you are?
My name's Chad Nick. I actually do have a YouTube channel, but I'm actually going to be changing it up. We're going to start a new one called gastrogamer.com, and that's going to be relating to game accessibility for kids with disabilities and things like that. We're going to talk about things like that and game development, how you can make games better for kids and stuff like that.
Cool. All right, and Nate?
Yeah, my name is Nate, and my YouTube channel is WASD20, and yeah, that's about it.
It's a good channel.
Thanks.
Watch many videos.
Thank you.
Sal, do you got a YouTube channel?
I do not, but I actually follow many of you, your channels.
Excellent. So. We always love the comments. Everybody loves comments. And Chief is really cool. I'm not sure if he has one.
No, I don't. Well, I have a YouTube channel, but I don't put anything on it. The Vile Phenomenologist. You can subscribe to it. You won't get anything out of it though. So, no, who am I to tell you not to subscribe?
All right. Okay, so we are ready to begin. So let me just begin at the beginning. You are all goblins of the Licktoad tribe who live deep in Brinestump Marsh, south of the man-hated town called Sandpoint. Once, other goblins tried to burn Sandpoint down, and they would have been legends if they had succeeded, but they didn't bring enough fire, and they got themselves killed as a result. Yesterday, your tribe discovered that one of your own had been using forbidden arts and was engaged in one of the greatest of taboos, writing things down. In fact, rumor holds that what he was writing was a history of your tribe. There is no swifter way to bring about bad luck than stealing words out of your mind and writing them down. And so your tribe had no choice. You branded the goblin's face with letters to punish him, which is why everyone calls him Scribbleface now. And then you ran him out of town, took all his stuff, and burned down his hut. But this is where things got interesting. Before you all burned down his hut, Chief Gutwad found a weird box within the building. Inside was a map and a lot of fireworks. Fireworks that immediately came to use in burning the hut down. And then this morning, Chief Gutwad announced that tonight there would be a feast in order to drive any lingering bad luck from Scribbleface's poor decisions. But perhaps even more exciting, all of you have been secretly invited to meet Chief Gutwad's mood house. Why would the chief want to speak with you? It can only mean he's got an important mission for you all, one that other the goblins couldn't pull off. This is your chance to go down in Licktoad history. So, it's middle of the afternoon. The goblins are frantically getting busy for a celebration tonight, which the chief has announced there's going to be. And you've seen a few of these celebrations before. There's always a big bonfire and lots of games and dares and challenges. And so I would like you to describe to me a little bit about your characters, what they are doing, and we'll go from there. All right. So Chad, tell us about your character.
Okay. So my character is named Rita Big Bad, and Rita is a rather large-headed goblin. She is dressed in a halfling's wedding dress and actually has like a bridal veil on top of her head, and she carries on her like satchels that actually seem like they're moving because they have like little small animals or creatures inside them, and she's got a bow on her back and all this kind of stuff. And her big giant head kind of makes her a little bit wobbly when she's like walking around or trying to do stuff. But other than that, she tries to think that she's like a pretty goblin, but really, is there such a thing? Pretty goblin.
It's all okay, Nate. Excellent.
So I am Chuffy, and I am a goblin rogue, and I am under no illusion that I'm good-looking. For my face is absolutely covered in pimples and boils, and from time to time they just burst inadvertently, and it gets in my eye or something. I carry a dagger and a small crossbow, a goblin crossbow, and let's see. Yeah, I would probably at this time I would be petting my little pet frog in my pocket as I carry my pet. What is it? A spider in my hand as well, and as I stroke the pet spider a little bit and go, ha 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 ha, the frog jumps out of my pocket and I chase after it.
Excellent. Okay, Sal.
Okay, I will be playing Plug, cleric of Zerogel, sacred god of dog killing, fire, and most holy mounted combat. Plug isn't really good at mounted combat, and he finds a lot of shame in that. It's one of his most frustrating attributes. He's got a lot of bravado when it comes to combat. He's eager to fight, and he's overconfident, many times underestimating his enemies, and cussing when he does. When he is in combat, he's constantly cussing, and in his rage. He wears a cape similar to a superhero, and also has a pet toad he calls Dog Finder, and he also carries with him a squash drive toad, which was once his previous toad that was his pet, and now is deceased, so he kind of keeps him as a lucky charm as well.
That's great. Excellent.
Okay, and Tashif.
All right. Mug Merch is a crafty little goblin who likes experimenting with random things. I see an object and another object, I shove them together. I'm a goblin scientist. I'm sitting at my table, or maybe I'm sitting under the table with my lucky pet toad, Amphibia. Alright, currently I'm wearing spectacles over an eye patch and a skull mask, but see, Mogmerch is very smart. I've cut a hole in the eye patch so I can see right through it.
Excellent. Okay, so you guys are you're getting some attention from the other goblin tribes, which you like, because they know that you've been called in there, and you're going to get some kind of special treatment from the chief. So about early evening, one of the goblins comes over to you. This is a goblin you know. He's the chief's assistant, and he's skinny and tall. He's got a fairly muscular upper half of his body, but his lower half, one of his legs, is kind of lame a little bit, so he drags it. And but nobody messes with Slurm because the chief is kind of fond of him. So he comes over to each of you. He finds you in the camp and rounds you up, and he says, "The chief will see you now. Come to Mood House." And he kind of sort of shuffles off, dragging his foot, rounding up the next of you.
I scamper on after him.
After getting bored of following him around, demonstrating my ability to walk better, I decide to head to the hut.
I say, lead the way, Limpy, and I follow along with him.
Okay, so there is a picture of the Licktoad village, more or less. You can see in the center there's a bonfire, and there is the moot house, as it's called, the chief's house. So when you get inside the moot house, you're led inside. You can see that there's an outer room, which is like a trophy room, and it's crammed with little stolen bits of treasure. There's brine-pickled bodies of dozens of brutally slaughtered furry animals, mostly dogs. Goblins particularly hate dogs. And there's bits of fingers, frogs, toads, all other sorts of manners, shiny bits of cloth even, and they're all hanging down here to impress the lowly goblins who come in before the chief. So in an inner room, Slorb, who's really way overdressed for a goblin, he wears fancy bits of mismatched silks and things like that. He, dragging his foot, calls you into the main room where the chief is. Yeah. And when you get inside, you see Chief Gutwad in all his glory. The chief is sitting atop a 6-foot-high chair, which is kind of rickety, but it lets him look down on you. He does indeed have a big gut, but he's also quite big for a goblin, whereas most of you are around 3 to 3.5 feet. He's a good 4.5 feet, a veritable giant of a goblin. And he's sitting up on his rickety chair looking down on you, and he gestures for you all to sit down on the floor in front of him.
Okay, I think at this point when Rita is gonna come in and sit down, she actually pulls up her skirt and curtsies, but it's all covered in muck and mud and stuff because she's got that big train from the wedding dress, and she's like, "Thank you for letting me in. You're so nice." And she just sits down and splashes mud all over the seats and whatever's there. Just...
Excellent. Okay, so the four of you all wind up sitting in front of the chief, and he looks down at you from his big, high, rickety chair. You all be heroes. Each of you are best Licktoads but for me, and maybe but for Slorb. You are bleeding in terror from the mighty sound of my voice is all the proof I need. Soon all Licktoad goblins will know your might, for I picked for you a dangerous mission. You know about fireworks and map we found in Scribbleface's hut. Fireworks are fun. Map is more fun. Chose a route to place near coast where Scribbleface found fireworks. More fireworks there. I want them. I want them for Licktoads. You all go get them tomorrow. Tonight we have a big bonfire. Burn bad luck away from you. We play mini games. Much fun. Tomorrow you fetch me fireworks. If you meet men, you make them dead. You meet dogs, you make them dead. You meet horses, you make them dead. And you meet lots legs, eat goblins. Maybe you run. But if you not find fireworks, you not come back, or we feed you to Squealy Nord. He sits back in his chair, his big gut wobbling and the whole chair teetering, threatening to fall over.
I kind of lean forward and I'm shaking because I'm kind of intimidated by this big goblin. I say, thank you, Chief. Thank you. Yes, thank you.
He smiles and nods. Go now. We eat, we play games. Go!
Yes. Going.
Shuffling out a large train of mud is just tracked on the middle of his hut. Just
And I'm just kind of tripping over the other goblins in my hurry to get out, and I fall flat on my face as soon as I get out.
So there's some goblins that are kind of crowded around the chief's hut a little bit, staring in your direction as if looking up to you and a little bit in awe that you had a meeting with the chief and wondering what the chief wanted with you.
What you looking at? Go away! We're on a top secret mission.
So you can see that by now the bonfire has been started, and there is thin spits there with squirrels and even a few small dogs slowly turning on the spits. They're completely intact. They have not been defurred or declawed or anything at all. They're just whole and spitted and rotating over here. The goblins are gathered around, and it's starting to get a little dark. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying they're cooked well.
Birds.
Delicious.
All right, yeah. So you certainly can make your way close to the spits and feed on some delicious squirrel. Sure you can. Good.
Okay. I think what Rita would probably do at this point is seeing all this food, she just like grabs a portion of a squirrel, and like I said, I had this bag of like live creatures. She pulls out a squirrel and puts it on her shoulder, and it's trying to run away, and she's holding the tail, and she's like trying to feed it and herself the squirrel meat at the same time.
Okay, excellent.
Bad thing about dog, once you've eaten the surface, no more fur to eat.
Okay, so you guys have I'm sorry.
No.
You guys have a short feast of a squirrel and dog and maybe frogs and some other things, worms. And then afterwards, the chief, who's on a smaller but similar rickety stool, this one about 4 feet high, keeping him up out of the mud that pervades the village. He gathers you close and he says, "Game time! Yes, we will have some dares!" And all the other goblins start chanting, "Dare, dare, dare, dare!" So the goblins all start gathering around you, and they sort of are chanting this "dare, dare, dare" over and over, and they start yelling, "Squealy Nord! Squealy Nord!" Now, you guys know who Squealy Nord is. Squealy Nord is a big, fearsome boar who lives in a muddy pit in the middle of the village, right next to the goblin baby cages. And you've seen people, or rather goblins, other goblins of your tribe, attempt this dare before, and the dare is to dance with Squealy Nord. So one of you is going to try to basically ride this goblin for 3 consecutive rounds without being thrown from its back. And they are all challenging you and daring you to select one of your group to take on this challenge. They're going to be Squealy Nord, Squealy Nord. Yes, yes, one of you dance with Squealy Nord. Amusing to me.
I take a step back, hoping that 2 of my other companions will try do so.
I'm actually going to, like, whoever I can see who's also interested in doing that, I'm getting ready to just, like, rock, paper, scissors them for position of who gets to go. I'm not afraid of it, but I just don't want to be the first one to jump in and go.
Chuffy steps up and he makes the fist.
Oh, okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Azam! 1,
2, 3.
Goblins always pick scissors.
You ripped your right name.
And I sit like almost disappointed, just in the corner, just like. I can't believe it.
And I start shaking again, and as I'm shaking and kind of stepping up very trepidatiously, one of my boils bursts, and
I think.
My mouth.
Oh. Rob fell out. There we go. Haha. Hello, Rob. You missed wonderfulness of Chuffy's boil bursting. It was disgusting, but lovely.
Sorry about
no problem.
Okay, so one of you is going to have to take up the dare to dance with Squealy Nord. The tweet is like, yes, one of you dance with Squealy. That would amuse got one.
Chuffy steps forward and says,
I win, rock, paper, scissors. I go.
Okay, so the goblins all start hooting and they gather around you, and they're half pushing you, half dragging you towards this even muddier pit where Squealy Nord, the big boar, is kept. Now they have like a corral that leads Squealy Nord down to the edge of the pen itself, and you climb up over the fence to be lowered down onto Squealy Nord's back.
Ready?
I'm shaking again, and I slowly kind of adjust my tunic or whatever I'm wearing, and I nod.
Yes.
Okay, so as soon as your butt hits the boar, they pull the gate up, and he takes off, and you're like, woo, thrown back, and he's running all about this pen, bucking and trying to toss you. I want you to make me an animal handling check.
Okay, I'm just going. 16.
Excellent. Okay, so he's trying to buck you, but you're managing to kind of calm him down. All of the goblins around the pen are hooting and cheering. Some of them are throwing clumps of mud at you. Make me another animal handling check.
16 again.
Excellent. So they're all going crazy. You got them all frenzied. One of them hits you. You get hit in the side of the face with a frog. Bits of mud are hitting the pig and everything. All right, one more check.
8.
Okay, so he goes to buck you off. Make a dex check to hang on.
Okay.
Can't watch.
15.
Yes. So you kind of flip onto his head, and you manage to hang on for another 6 seconds before eventually he dumps you on your ass, and they all cheer and go crazy. He's like, yes! Yes!
I'm kind of surprised that I'm alive at this point.
Excellent, well done. So the chief, he calls you over. He looks down at you and he says,
Slarb, give to him.
and the chief reaches in a sack he has up there, and he pulls out this sort of black and brown tattered robe. You can see it's got a few patches on it, but it's obviously at one point had a lot more patches on it, and most of them have been torn off. There are 4 patches remaining on this robe, and each one of the patches has a different picture. One has a picture of a ladder, one has a picture of a turtle, one of a horseshoe, and one of a bullhorn. And he gives this to you as a prize for completing the dare. I'm going to post that there for you, so you don't got to remember. There you go.
Thank you.
And I've done this before. And you also gain inspiration.
All right. Thank you.
So they all cheer and hoot and holler. The goblins, they're thrilled, and they're getting even more wound up. But after a while, that starts to diminish, and they start shouting out again. Deer, deer, deer. Chief says, yes, another deer. We bored. We eat bull slugs. All the other goblins are saying, bull slugs, bull slugs. Now you would all know what bull slugs are. In fact, goblins aren't all that against eating slugs normally, but bull slugs are these great big black wriggling slugs the size of sausages. Even amongst goblins, they're considered very foul tasting, and because of the amounts of slime they exude, they're difficult to chew. So the dare is for someone to eat an entire bag of bull slugs in 1 minute. Who is willing to take on this dare? Dare, dare, dare! The other goblins are chanting. Don't they look yummy? So who's going for it?
I take the bag. I raise my hand to take the bag for it. I'm like, I'll do it. I don't care. I'll take it.
So Rita comes over and picks up the bag of bull slugs, and they all start gathering around and they make a tight circle. And you're there. You've got this small sack in one hand, and you realize there's about a half a dozen of these big black bull slugs.
Half a dozen, so 6. Oh god. Okay.
Yes. And you got 1 minute.
Okay. She like.
Right.
And like picks it out, like sticks her hand in the bag like it's a jar of pickles, and just like pulls one out and just.
It's totally covered in slime. All right, so you pop it in your mouth, and as you bite into it, it lets out this like little squeal, and more slime comes out. So I want you to make me a con check, please, a con save.
Let me take a look here and do my con save here. Okay. So it's the roll plus the 4 save that I get on that?
Just the number, the roll plus whatever number's there.
So yeah, so 10.
Okay. So you feel yourself start to gag, but you manage to swallow a couple down. And the goblins are laughing at you, struggling to eat these things. All right, couple more. Time's wasted.
She's like trying to cheer herself on with her big head. So 15.
Yes. Okay, so this time it seems a little bit easier. All right. There's a couple left in the bag. The goblins are starting to cheer even more as you've almost emptied the bag. Some are pounding you on the back. You at one point, some goblin has set a rotten fish on top of your head. You're not really sure how, but you got a big head, and they just laid it on top of your head between your ears. And make another con save as you try to finish off the bag of those lovely bull slugs.
With the half rotten fish on her head, she actually like smells the other ones and just like. So I go ahead and roll one more, and that's 18. So I just.
All right.
One hand shove both the other two in my mouth.
Be confused. You come closer. You did good. Bull slugs. Here.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
So, Gatwa reaches into this bag.
I love it.
I go get her some muddy water to wash the taste down.
She like rinses her mouth out and spits it back out.
Slime and everything just. All the slime hanging from your face and everything. Okay, so the chief he reaches in his bag and he starts to pull something out, and then he stops and he looks at you and goes, "This not gift, this loan. You give back when you come back." Huh? Yes. And he hands you a dagger, and it looks very similar to the dagger you already have, but it's a little bit larger, and it's very, very sharp. But this is a +1 dog slicer that does +3 versus horses. It's called
+3 versus horses?
Yeah, horses and horse-like creatures.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
I'm like passing it around like, look at the pretty.
Oh, and when Chuffy takes it, he tries to quickly slide it into his own pocket.
Oh, yes, yes. It was an accident. Accident!
These things do happen.
I slipped.
Love it.
Okay,
Hey, dude.
the celebration continues. The goblins are frenzied. It's at this point that wine starts getting passed around. It's this goblin wine, and it's well, goblins seem to like it. It's not what you call it quality wine. It's kind of a greenish tinge to it, and so the goblins start getting a little bit drunk, and that just makes them all the more boisterous. More wood gets thrown on the bonfire. In fact, one of the goblins falls into the bonfire and runs out, slightly on fire, running around screaming, and all the other goblins are just laughing and pointing at him and throwing mud at him to help put it out.
That's awesome.
So eventually, the goblins start chanting for another dare. Dare. And you realize that the pressure is on both Poog.
Someone's gonna give another dare. What do you think this one is?
No idea. Maybe you should go and stuff.
Okay.
Do I?
Okay, so both Poog and Mogmerch realize that the pressure is starting to be on them to undertake one of these dares. And the next dare up for offer when the goblins start chanting is the Rusty Earbiter. Now, the Rusty Earbiter is something you would have heard about and seen before. It is behind the Mood House, and the Rusty Earbiter is this. It's like a big tunnel that's made up of rusty wires, barrel hoops, bent swords, things like that, thorny branches and vines. And it's kept behind the Mood House when it's not in use. And so some of the goblins have dragged it out in front. It's about 20 feet long, and a goblin has to enter into it and try to make his way through it without being pricked or stabbed to death too badly from all these little thorns and barbs sticking out in there. It's called the earbiter because goblins having large ears, those are particularly vulnerable to crawling through this tunnel. And in fact, there are bits and pieces of ears at various places still stuck to wires.
Not the Airbiter. Then Mitch like hides his ears behind his head and then looks around his horror as everyone's staring at him as if he just volunteered.
Yes! Mogmerch, yes! Yes, you do! You do your part!
Go!
My father! Now it's here for me!
So you're half pushed and shoved towards this ear biter, and you're almost pushed to the ground, like to a crawling position to crawl through this thing. You can see, looking in this tunnel, there's no real safe path. It's just kind of, you got to be really careful. There's thorns sticking up from all over places, and in fact, as I said, you can see bits of ears, in fact entire ears in some places, still stuck to the barbed wires. Now the goblins are already starting to pelt you with mud before you even enter this. So go ahead and make your attempt. I want you to make me a I'm going to say a deck save to climb through this without hurting yourself.
Alright, I lift one up. I kind of lift it up and I begin to put my arm in it softly and crawl in. Oh, I get a 7.
Okay, so you are immediately pricked on one of your ears for 1 point of damage, and the goblins just start laughing.
Pain is unbearable.
And some of them start rocking it and shaking it a little bit, pushing on it, making it a little bit more difficult, and also clearly offering you no chance to return back to the entrance. Crawl on. Another
I crawl in the direction that I think is forward, which might not be. I don't know. They kind of jostled me out of position. Okay, I get a 19.
Excellent. So you managed to get about halfway through, no further harm to yourself, although you can feel it very close. They're scraping the edges of your skin. They're pelting you with mud. Some are dropping like little rocks on top of it. Some are like rolling it, shaking it, pushing it with sticks to make it more tough for you. And then they're all laughing and cheering. Clearly they don't care much if you get injured.
So, like, I think I've just found, like, a little safe base in it, but then they throw rocks, which cause, like, ears to just fall on me.
Okay. So, fortunately, you're getting close to the exit. Make me another dex check.
Okay, I get a 16.
Yes. Okay. No damage. And then they're picking it up and pelting it. In fact, as you go to climb the last couple of feet out, they flip the end of it up, and you sort of tumble out, and it goes rolling off, pointing to the side.
I still have some of my ears.
You almost lost here. Come close, not too close.
Huh? Yes, Chief.
So as you go over there, he reaches into his bag and he pulls out this long gourd. It's got kind of a curved neck. It's sort of yellowy, and it's got a stopper in the end. The stopper looks like it's just a clump of hair. And he tosses the gourd down to you. Goes, "Fire dragon!" The goblins all start to cheer, and you realize that they're getting more intoxicated by the minute. You're also encouraged to drink if you like.
Drink out of the gourd?
Not the gourd, no, the wine. The gourd I just posted there for you to read the details. You probably don't want to drink it right now.
Oh, not for drinking. Not for drinking.
So go on.
He's gonna be shaking as he's drinking wine, saying to himself as the occasional goblin congratulates him by throwing more rocks at him.
So they're patting you on the back. They're sticking drinks in your face. Some are just pouring this wine on you. and you're being pelted with mud. But it seems to be a sort of a mud fight kind of erupts among the goblins, which isn't unheard of during these celebrations. And everybody starts pelting everyone else with mud, and Chief Gutwad is just looking down, watching this. And then this goes on for about 3 minutes, and then he just suddenly turns and stares right at Poog. You! Oh, I see you. Oh, you not get away with no dare. Oh, dare for you. And the other goblins are like, dare, 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 dare.
Poog is he's reluctant, but he realizes that he has to prove himself to the chief, and he's also relieved that he didn't have, knowing that he's not good at riding animals. He's kind of relieved that he wasn't tasked with that. So he kind of reluctantly kind of makes his way, but he looks back at the others with kind of like with his eyes kind of making sure that if they do laugh at him, he'll kind of come, when he's done with his dare, he's going to come back and pick a fight with them. So he's ready for that.
Okay.
Go!
So he calls you close, and he tells you, you play hide or get clubbed. This is like hide and seek. Only you're going to go hide, and any goblin that finds you can club you.
That's
Robert's mood completely turns around as he pulls out a club. Hide and club! Hide and club!
Wait! Go hide! Go hide. So he points off to the forest, and you have 1 minute to hide.
So I'm gonna run into the forest, and I'm gonna try to find, I mean, at this point I'm probably a little bit intoxicated, so I find what looks to be the best hiding spot, that's the closest, somewhere where I can kind of burrow into, like some foliage, and I'm gonna try to, if anyone does try, in fact, find me, I'm gonna try to prepare myself so where I can like either get a surprise attack on them with a just like a swing.
Okay, that's not really part of the rules, but yeah, go ahead. You don't get the club back. They get the club you for fine. Part of the rules. But if you want to club them back, what happens? That's okay. So first of all, I want you to make me a perception check to try and find a decent place to hide. Or I'll let you make me a nature check. Your choice.
So perception, I'm at a 17.
Okay, so excellent. So you find a really good place to hide, like maybe a hollow, muddy log, and you crawl under there, club in hand. Or dagger in hand, anyway. And you're hiding under there. Now I want you to also make me a stealth check.
Let's see. I'm at a 5. Not so good.
Okay. No, that's not too good. Oh, I'm sorry. You get to make that an advantage. So you make a second roll, and you get to pick the higher of the two.
Okay. Same thing. A 4, so a 5.
Okay. So you found a pretty good hiding spot. However, like part of your foot is maybe sticking out there. All right. So I'm going to ask the other three of you to make me a perception check. This will not be for yourselves, but for the goblins that are searching for him. And you're just going to subtract 1. Your perception is going to be at -1.
So 11.
So okay.
Okay, so
And
-1. 18? 18 then?
okay. Okay. Yes. And one more. Oh no. Nate, you want to make a roll for one of the other goblins?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. I got a 13.
Okay, so sad to say, Poog, 3 goblins find you almost at the same time, and they all take a wail on you with a club. So I'd like each of the 3 players who found him to roll me a d4.
Did I not? I didn't find him with an 11, did I?
Yeah, you did. He rolled a 5 on his stealth check. His foot was sticking out.
And he forced in the back.
I got a 3.
Okay.
Got a 1.
Uh-huh.
I got a 1.
Okay,
I
so
got 1.
Poog, you are lying there, and you think you are hiding well, and all of a sudden, 3 goblins go, aha! And they all smack you with a club for a total of 5 points of damage. Thud, thud, thud. And then they all start laughing and scurry off back to the village.
So
The worst game yet.
As soon as Poog feels a little bit of pain, his macho perception kind of falls into the fetal position, and he kind of recoils and doesn't really, he kind of shows his weakness. He's more act than he is toughness.
Okay, so injured, limping, you make your way back to the village, where the chief calls you over, and he says, "You not good at hide. You have bruises. But let me give you something for dare." So he reaches into his sack and he pulls out this jar, and this jar is like brown. The glass is brown. It was probably clear at one point, but now it's just brown and you can't see through the glass. It's got a cap on top of it that you can kind of pry off and put back on. It's sort of made of wood, like a big wooden stopper. And he hands that down to you. You have this.
What is it?
And I'm going to I'll put that in the notes. All right. And so for the rest of the evening, you guys are free to continue celebrating, drinking liquids, wine, bull slugs if you want. I don't care. And party on. And in fact, the other goblins in the tribe, they are already starting to look at you with more respect for being selected by the chief and for accepting and going through with the dares. You all have inspiration.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
So if you'd like to just tell me what you're going to do for the rest of the evening, and then we'll move to the next morning.
I think, as far as Rita is concerned, she is going to, she has this bottle of, this jar of perfume that's already half drunk, and she's going to pull it out, and she's actually going to take a swig of it, and then I found in my gear, I also have this set of false teeth, which makes her have not this goblin smile, but this nice straight smile. And so just for fun and giggles, because she's partly inebriated already from all the drinking, she sticks it in her face, looks in her mirror, because she's got this little hand mirror, and goes, "I really want to dance." Oh. And I'm gonna roll a charisma check just to see if anyone around gets the urge to dance with her, but with her giant headedness. Oh wow. Okay. So hold on. I rolled a 15, and my charisma is 10, so 0. Yeah, so 15.
So if anyone of the other piece wants to dance with Rita, they are welcome to do so.
Chucky, I would gladly step up, and I kind of scurry forward, and I pull out a little cowbell and start kind of banging on it with the hilt of my dog slicer, going gong, 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 and it's pretty clear that I have no idea how to dance.
Could you just remind Rita what you look like again?
Yeah, I've never been asked to dance in my life. And as we are dancing, you might start backing away because I'm exerting too much energy and my boils are popping.
Chuffy, you sweat too much. Stop it. Stop your boils. I'm
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Chuffy, very sorry.
And Chuffy kind of slinks away.
She's just like dancing by herself now at this point, just like dancing and wafting about her her little wedding dress.
And at this point, I would probably be going off to find where I can be closest to the fire, and I just kind of stare amazed at the fire, wide-eyed, just whoa, whoa.
All right, great. It is true. Goblins love fire. They respect its power. Hence why you're being sent on this particular quest. All right, so if there's anything else anyone wants to do, speak up. Otherwise, we're going to move ahead to the next morning.
No, I'm just gonna get really, really drunk. Then I'm gonna prepare my bombs for tomorrow.
Nothing like bomb making. Woo!
I will be joining him as well, but I'm keeping a close eye on Chuffy just because I don't like the fact that he earned that robe for riding that boar. And since I'm not good at writing that, I'm trying to kind of plot when I'm going to steal that robe from him and either hide it or burn it.
Nice.
Whoa.
Okay, great. So the night passes. The goblins celebrate not too far into the evening. Eventually, they all pass out in the mud in some of their huts. Some are even found. One's even found sleeping next to Squealy Nord, who sleeps right beside him. And everybody wakes up the next morning. Now, I want everyone to make me a con save with a DC of 10 to see if you're hungover.
I'm very hungover. I rolled a 3. No.
Okay, so
So 9.
anyone who failed to roll 10 or higher, your next check is going to be at disadvantage. Okay, your next important check.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so it's the next morning, and after kind of getting yourselves together, you're gathered, ready to head out on your big quest. The chief and Slorb and several of the other goblins are all gathered around as well, and they are going to see you off. Now, the chief is going to show you roughly on this very crude map where you got to go. And this isn't very far. This is only like 3 or 4 miles. So you can get there in just like a couple of hours just by following the little trail that he's marked on the map. And the chief says to you, they're all gathered around, and the chief says to you, "You make sure you're successful. Yes. I give you these." He gives you 2 candles. Well, they look like candles, but they're actually fireworks.
Oh,
Okay.
yes.
And I'm going to post those right now. And I want you guys can decide amongst yourselves who gets them. As I said, there is 1 of each of these. And the chief also says to you, "You go out. You have success. You bring fireworks back to me. If not, maybe you don't come back. Maybe that would be best." And the goblins are hooting and cheering as they as they send you off on your little trip.
Oh,
Yes, we come back. We come back with fireworks.
oh, we need to follow
All right.
the river. The
Describing that incredibly simple. So when you head out into the marsh, which looks kind of like that, you see that there are all sorts of usual denizens of the marsh. There are little tiny spiders, bugs, gnats, mosquitoes, little snakes, frogs, eels, and so forth. So as you set out on this trail, I would like for each of you to describe to me what your character looks like moving up this trail, and maybe what they're thinking or thinking about as well. Let's start with Rita.
Okay, so with Rita, I feel like she's got. So one of the things that she has on her, she has. Let's see. There's, I guess, this rope that she has that has like these little dead moles that are sewn onto it, like as like a bandolier across her body, and she's got like she's got her bow out, and obviously the wedding dress that she's wearing is, she doesn't wash it, she doesn't try to keep it clean. It's just progressively getting more muddy and more dark and gross. And as she's going, she reaches into a pack and she just like pulls out a pocket full of caterpillars and just throws them in her mouth, like sniffing the air and like looking for the next thing. And the caterpillars are almost like popcorn to her. She's just like,
Let's go. Hurry.
Nice, much better than bull slugs.
oh yeah.
So, Chuffy, what's Chuffy doing and thinking?
Chuffy is just kind of, he's kind of slinking along, and he's looking around.
I'm thinking of must come back with fireworks. Must come back. Must live. Must come back.
And I'm kind of muttering this to myself, and I'm clearly a little bit frightened that I might die. And I also have my dagger out, and I'm kind of dragging it on the ground, which I'm pretty low to the ground already, and I'm going up ahead, going far behind, and I'm kind of sniffing at the air.
Great, that's great. It smells good to you, like a marsh should. Buggy and full of muck. And Poog, what's Poog doing?
So Poog is kind of walking around with his chest puffed out a bit, making sure that the other three see him, that he's not afraid, to travel. He every so often he kind of looks and sees if he can find another toad to add to his collection, and then he remembers the robe and what he's gonna do with that robe when he gets his hands on him.
Okay, well, you you have that to use as you wish. All right, Mogmerch. What's Mogmerch doing?
in one hand, Mogmerch has his club out, and on the end of it, he's like balancing a pumpkin head lantern on it to sort of guide the way. It's really. And on the other hand, he has his little formula book, but remember, writing is a no-no in Goblin Land, so what he has is like leaves pressed into the book and scribbles and other nonsensical things that somehow equals a formula in his head. He's reading that while balancing a freaking jack-o'-lantern on his club, trying to guide the way through the forest. Eastward.
Great. Great. And pictures are okay. Pictures are acceptable. So you travel along through the swamp for several hours, and it's fairly pleasant in goblin terms. As I said, there's little bugs and worms to find and snack on along the way. And you feel you're getting close to the shore. In fact, you're close enough to start to be able to smell some of the sea breeze, but you can't see the ocean yet. The marsh and the trees are still too thick. As you're making your way up this very, very faint path, suddenly a huge spider jumps on the path before you. And you've seen spiders before, and even large spiders before, but this spider is so big it can only be the spider known as Lots Legs Eats Goblins.
Legends are true.
No! I never thought I'd see it!
It's Lots Legs.
What do we do now? Huh?
It's worship it.
At this point, I would try to kind of find any sort of shelter I can so that I can kind of hide a little bit, and I draw back from my companions.
Oh, mighty Lots Legs, please don't eat us. Well, I rolled a 16 on the charisma check.
I think for Rita, because she's such a big-headed, like, brash one, rather than being afraid, she's actually gonna be like try to make herself as big as she can. So she goes over and she sees these branches and she like cuts off a whole bunch of she goes and cuts off some branches from nearby trees. She just tries to make herself as big as possible, and I'm gonna try to roll an intimidate check, even though I know I'm gonna be rolling at disadvantage. Okay. Oh, it fell off the table. Nope, fell off again.
Dang it.
Come on, stay on the table.
Roll like a goblin as well.
Okay, so rolling at disadvantage, I still picked up a. How much is disadvantage on that?
You roll
Just
two dice.
Roll two. Okay.
Yeah,
Roll
you take the
two.
lower one.
Okay, so I still got a 17. I still picked up a 17 because I rolled a 17 first and a 15 second. So I still picked up a 17 for my intimidation check on the spider.
Oh. Twice.
And I'm like waving these branches around.
Oh, there's two Robs.
Oh my god, there is.
Sorry about
It's
that.
Robception.
Bit of a snowstorm here.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's okay, man.
All right, so I'm going to call up the picture of Lots Legs again. It's kind of intimidating, and I want you to feel that way. There she is in all her glory.
Oh my god!
Okay,
Now I
so
I did the intimidate check.
that appears on the trail before you. And this is a spider with a reputation amongst your tribe. Lots Legs eats goblin, in fact, killed and eaten many, many goblins. And she sees you and her legs twitch. She immediately jumps forward to attack.
Oh my goodness, I made a horrible decision.
What? I want to immediately.
You mean to roll what?
Initiative.
Oh, initiative,
Okay.
yes.
Right. So you're going to roll a d20 and add your initiative bonus, which is equal to your dex mod.
Okay.
7.
I got a 7 as well.
Okay, that's
1.
fine. Just both go at the same time.
Okay.
7, and who else got a 7?
I got
Sorry,
a 7.
that was choppy. When you say I, you got to say a name.
Nate. Chuffy.
Nate got
7.
Chuffy, you got to say. Rita.
21.
Wow. And
I rolled a.
Poog is at a 16, but I also
Okay,
have a disadvantage from the night before. So do I have to roll that again?
Not on roll. It's going to be on your first attack roll if you're hung over.
Okay.
And not for sure. So, Lots is got surprise on you, so she's going to get 1 attack, and her is 14. She's going to go in order after that. So, tell me which of you was first in line. He said, "Eagerly chuckling."
First in order.
Yes, who would have been
First in
who would have
line.
been first in the marching order? Which of you?
Probably Rita said she's the biggest of the group.
I agree.
Poog would
All
be
right.
right up there as well. I mean, he's trying to give off this impression that he's actually tough. He's up there now that things are kind of getting a bit sticky here. He's kind of regretful that he's up there in the fray.
Nice.
All right. She comes down and she moves forward, and you almost side by side, but she attacks Poog, and she sinks fangs into you for 4 points of damage. And you're going to have to make me a con save, please. As the poison goes into your body from fangs.
Poog. Right, a good day.
Did you roll, Poog? You there? Okay. So she attacks Rita. Rita, make a con save.
Okay.
I can do that.
Con save. I rolled a 12 for my con save.
All right, you need an 11. So you're going to take 4 points of damage from the fang jabbing into your little goblin body. And you do feel some poison go into you, but you're tough enough that it doesn't hurt you. And it is, in fact, your turn, your attack.
So, so I'm a little bit kind of just miffed that this thing, like, first of all, that my intimidation didn't work. Second of all, that this thing actually bit me. So I'm going to take my dagger, and I'm going to try to slide underneath and just try to get underneath into its nice soft underbelly and stab underneath in the underbelly. All right, so I'm going to scurry underneath, and I'm going to... 14? Okay, where's my other attack? Like my attack... So, 12 plus 5 to hit... It's going to be 17.
So it's going to be a hit?
Yep.
So you're going to harm her? Describe it to me.
Okay, so I go underneath, I get into the underbelly, and I just take my little dagger, right? I try to like climb up on one of the arms, and I just take my dagger and just try to stab into the inside. The side. I know that spiders have a soft underbelly, so I'm gonna try to stab to the inside and get her pretty good, and I get 4 points of damage.
Okay, so and a little bit more squirts out where your dagger goes in, and next in the order is Poog. Are you with us, Poog?
I am. So I'm within.
Make an attack.
I'm within melee range, correct? Or can I do a range?
Yep. Yes.
Okay, so I will wheel around, try to get to the spider side, if that's possible, and then I'm also gonna try to stick it with the dagger. And I'm at a disadvantage as well. I rolled an...
Just attack.
I'm sorry?
You
I'm
need
at
a
a 9.
14.
So I rolled a 22 total. I rolled a natural 19.
I didn't get the number. Did you roll 2 numbers and take the lowest?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm at a 17. And
I hit. That to me.
17 is a hit.
Yeah. 17 should be a hit.
I rolled a total of 5 points of damage.
Okay, so there you go. Your weapon. So you rush in there and you stab your dagger into her leg. She picks it up, hitters at you, and then she is going to bite down. This time upon you for doing the most damage to her.
I think we might have lost him again.
Hmm.
Yeah. Possible. He's still. It looks like he's still here, but
Yeah.
possible we lost him again. But he seems to be like. It seems to be sticking around. If it was really cutting out, then
Oh, there it's gone now.
there we go.
Yeah, Hangouts does that sometimes.
I'll be right back.
Okay. There we go. Rob.
Again, monkeys. So, Poog, what is your AC?
14.
Thank you. So she goes skittering over to you, and fangs stab down, and you just get it roll out of the way. And now it's Chuffy, and then Mugmerch. Chuffy?
Okay, sorry about that. So I am going to try to get around to the side, and I pull my crossbow, and I'm going to try to get at an angle where I'm not at risk of hitting my fellow goblins here. And I roll with disadvantage, correct?
Yes, if you're hungover from the previous night, and just this attack.
Okay. All right, not bad. So I rolled a... That'll be a 20 to attack.
Excellent. So that's a hit.
Okay.
So just describe me weapons.
What's that?
Just tell us what happened.
Okay. Yeah, so I pull out my crossbow and I take aim, and I'm going to aim right for one of her eyes. And that'll be 9 damage.
Nice. Wow. Excellent. So the crossbow bolt sinks deep right in her eye. There's like a little... And she rises up and squeals, flailing all her legs in anger. And Mogmerch.
Alright, Mogwitch rises up because his you kind of cut out when I did it, but Mogmerch's first reaction was to start worshipping and trying to appease this beast. But now he's gonna seeing that if it bleeds, it can be killed. It'll take out a firebomb with a string on it, and he'll quickly tie it to a rope, spin the firebomb around, and he's gonna throw it at one of the legs.
Okay.
Okay, that's 15, so it latches onto the legs, and then boom!
So I'd like you to roll me some damage, please.
Ooh, so the firebomb is... Okay, yeah. So that is 4 damage from the firebomb.
Excellent. So I would like, I believe the other 3 were in melee range. So I would like
Yes.
all the other 3 to make me a dex save to see if they also get caught in this firebomb blast. Since
Oh,
Mogger
goodness.
is clearly
Probably out of range.
All right, if you think that's fine. No. So the other 2, you can make me a dex check
Okay.
to try and dive out of the range of this little exploding mini bomb.
Don't forget to dodge the bomb.
All right. 13. I rolled a 13.
Yes,
so did
you
I
managed to both made a
All right.
13. You both dove out of the way. There's an explosion there. As Mogmer just checked his in. Had
Who
the
is that?
advantage, setting her leg hairs on her, just taking off up a side trail, leaving a trail of ichor and little bits of burning. She's clearly deadly. Hello?
What was that, Rob?
I'm sorry.
That was
She
really choppy.
She went scurrying off up the trail. No problem. She goes scurrying off up a trail. She's leaving ichor and a little bit of pink fur. She's clearly badly injured. Would you like to pursue her?
This could be. We could be legend. Yes, let's do it.
Yes, yes.
Imagine 4 goblins with fireworks riding into the village on long legs that kills goblins.
Yeah, ooh, that's even better. Ooh.
Killer.
I didn't even think about. Hey, let's try to like tame the massive beast and ride it in with fireworks. That was even better. Like, oh, that's good.
So she's running off down the trail, dripping ichor, and these 4 goblins are like, yeah, madly chasing after her. I would like each of you to make me a survival check running through the woods to see if you stumble over any branches or little holes in the ground. You need a 10 or higher on survival check.
You got
Okay,
18.
I got a 15.
Alright,
So for once, like, branches aren't flinging into my face.
where's survival? Okay, I have a -1 to survive, a -1 as my save to survival, so we're gonna have some fun with this.
All right.
15. Okay, so yeah.
Okay. So you guys chase her for about 200 yards to this little, very, very shallow cave. Like, this cave is so shallow from the outside you can see the back of it. It's about 6 feet, maybe 8 feet deep. And it's full of webbing all around its walls. And she goes scurrying right in there, still bleeding. You see the webbing twitch. You can't quite make her out in the shadows and the recess of this shallow cave, but she's definitely in there. You can hear her twitching.
I have a bad feeling about this.
And I'm just kind of take a knee, and I just kind of point my crossbow out, and I'm not going in.
No, screw your bad feeling. This is best idea ever.
Ooh, I like your attitude.
He's gonna Rita's gonna take out her short bow from long range and just like try to kind of be with Chuffy and shoot from long range, so that because if it's a small enough cave and they don't have to get really close to get bitten again, why So she's like, okay, I don't want to get bitten again, so I'm gonna take my short bow and like try to fire an arrow into the cave.
You can certainly fire an arrow into the cave. You can't see her, but you can get a sense of roughly where she is in the web, because it's kind of like from the web's twitching and moving.
Okay.
So in other words, if you want to make an attack, you're going to have to move closer.
Okay. So I want to let's see. Yeah, I think I'll move a little bit closer, but not enough to where she wouldn't have to come out of the cave to actually like attack, you know.
And I kind of
staying
nudge
out of
you
melee range.
forward, and I'm crouching and kind of peering out from behind you with my
Oh,
hand
okay.
on
So
your
you're
back.
using me as a meat shield. Oh, nice. I love that. That is such chivalry there, Chuffy. Such chivalry.
You're goblins. What do you expect?
Serve the
Try not
lady.
to puss on you.
Oh, that's great. Thanks. Okay, so
So you sneak in there, all nice and ready. Does anybody else want to do anything?
Yep.
The other two?
Poog's gonna move up within range as well, and Poog would like to do a cantrip, Sacred Flame. Flame,
nice.
like, radiance descends on a creature that you can see within range. Target must succeed on a dexterity saving throw.
Except you can't see her yet.
nice.
Yeah, you need to be able to see the target. I guess.
Oh, you can't see her yet, yeah.
You can move closer to where you could see her if you want.
I will do that.
Okay, so
Uh,
I'm going to need to... Go ahead. You go ahead, Mogmerch.
okay. Mogwitch is going to pull out what looks like he pulls out a boot, and he undoes the top of it and pulls out what's wrapped in a leaf. It's like a rock with some sort of substance on it. He forcefully swallows the rock. Thus using one of his extracts. And the idea is that he casts jump on himself, and while everyone's like kind of creeping in, thinking tactically, Mugwitch, jump on! Long legs!
You're just going to go leaping into the cave.
Yep.
Oh my god.
All right.
Idea ever.
So the three of you are creeping forward, trying to be all quiet, trying to get a line of sight on her, and Mogmer just goes leaping over your head, flying into this cave, and you can see him hanging in the webbing like, oh, whoa, and he's all stuck to the webbing, and you can see a blast of spittle come out right towards Mogmerch, and you get hit right in the chest with this blast of spittle, and it starts burning you for 5 points of damage. And you can see Watch Legs in all her glory there. The other three can't quite see it. So, Mogmerch, since you were so brave, I'm going to give you first attack, and then we'll get to the others. What do you want to do? You start with...
Okay, check until he... See if he has to get back on. What,
Okay, hello. Sorry.
Okay,
So,
okay. I thought you
You're
were...
in there. You're in there. You're in the web. I'm going to give you first attack for the other three, and you're sitting there. Your chest is burning. This giant spider is crawling towards you, intent on eating you a meal. Just as the other three are getting within visual range. So, Mogmerch, what do you want to do?
All right, I'm gonna try to get free of the net. No, the web.
Say,
What attribute?
okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. Is it a strength check?
To break free? Yeah, it's going to be a strength check. Yeah.
No, 13.
13 is what you needed. So you managed to rip your arms free of the webbing, and you fall about 3 feet to the ground. This big spider above you.
All right. Now,
Escaping, by the way,
Yes,
is a
I have-
move action, so it's not a standard action.
okay. I'm going to hold out some of my pickled leeches, which I have in a gourd, and I'm going to hold it up to the giant spider.
Okay. So she is going to move forward to bite you, but before she can sink her fangs into you, she comes into visual range of the other three. So, let's go. Rita, you were closing in with your bow, I believe?
Yes, with my bow. So I'm going to try to shoot her with my bow.
If you roll a 1,
yeah.
if you roll a 1, you hit Mogmerch.
Okay, but I did not roll a 1, so we're good. I rolled, let's see, I rolled an 18, so plus 4, 22. 22 to hit.
So excellent. So excellent. That's a hit. But before I get the damage, I'm going to also say that the other 2 attacks go off simultaneously because all 3 were ready there.
Okay.
So Chuffy, you make an attack, and Poog, you make an attack. And if any of you rolls a 1, you hit poor Mogmerch.
I got a 17.
Excellent. And Poog?
I rolled an 18, but I was gonna do a spell.
Okay. So what spell do you want to do?
Sacred Flame.
All right. So the arrows go off, the spell goes off. It all hits this spider at the same time. She twitches, writhes, and falls to the ground. Let's see if it lands on top of Mogmerch, trying to dive out of the way.
Okay, 22.
Excellent. So you managed to roll out of the way, and Lot's legs kills Goblin Baby's Many, is lying there twitching. And then is still. What would you like to do?
No, I'm going to try and feed it some of the leeches. If it's dead, that's beyond Mogmerch. Do something!
Yes, she does not eat any of your leeches.
What are you doing?
Take us to the firework!
I think Rita, after realizing that they have done this, how big is this head, by the way, Rob? How big is her head in comparison to the 4 of us? And I'll wait for him to come back.
Yep.
So maybe
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. How big is this spider's head? If it, because I kind of want to behead the spider, or take an eyeball or something that we can definitely have some bragging rights about. Because if we survive the fireworks and getting the fireworks and this, then I want to be able to go back to the chief and be like, this is worth more than just what you wanted me to do. We killed the biggest thing in the forest. Right?
Well, we lost him again.
Yeah.
Oh, the eyeballs make a pretty necklace.
The only reason I want to see how big the head is because if 4 of us can carry it individually in different places, we could all maybe use it as a slide to get down to the ship right there. You just go down, use the bloody stump of a head as a slide to go down.
Spider's leg would make a funny club, maybe.
Yeah,
Or his
part of
legs
the
would
leg.
be awesome. Yeah, there you go.
They were kind of prickly, right?
Yeah, there you go. It'd be perfect for.
We just hold 2 legs, full legs, and use them to climb things.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool.
Goblin
There's the
things.
stickiness. Yeah, that'd be cool.
And it's totally goblin logic as well.
They're like, oh, it's sticky, so we can do this too. It's awesome.
Okay. How many legs? Spiders have 8 legs?
Yeah, so we'd each get 2. We'd each get 2 legs and have our own wall climbing pickaxes.
This is perfect.
Yeah. Poor Rob. He keeps falling. He keeps falling out.
Those damn Canadian snowstorms.
Seriously, man.
Snowstorms.
What a storm. Must be a good one.
Yeah.
So, you guys played much 5th edition yet?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually in a campaign that Rob's a part of as well.
Oh, nice.
I have not. This is actually my first one.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm
Good, man.
middle so far, and I'm like pretty new to role playing. So yeah,
man.
so far I like it a lot more than the other editions.
Yeah, 5th edition is. I've played 5th edition with Matt and stuff a lot, and he's kind of given me some pointers and stuff on that. And it's really, I think it's smoother and it plays better than a lot of the other D&D versions.
Yeah, definitely. Yep. I'm pretty new to it, but I mean, I'm pretty new to role playing too. So I've only really played. The only game I've played multiple times is Pathfinder. For this, and yeah, I like it better. I mean, they're both good. I'm still probably going to be running a Pathfinder game for a while.
Pathfinder is where I started, though. So I mean, like, yeah.
No, that was my first role playing game too.
I was really wanting to check out. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, when I play Pathfinder, I find that I become too like focused on rules, like not to my liking. Mm-mm.
Yeah. I was really wanting to check out the new, it's not so new, I guess, Dragon Age. I don't know, the new video game's coming out, and it reminded me that, oh yeah, there's a role-playing game for that, and I've heard good things about it. And so I checked it out, and it's like out of print or something like that. Like it's going on Amazon for like $100 for the core book.
What? Screw that.
I know.
I bet you could pick them up like at local comic book shops if they still have them. Like you can just probably
That's a
pick
good
them up.
Yep.
I mean,
The good game that I actually played today during BrigadeCon was the Gentleman Gamers Numenera.
Ooh,
Very
yeah.
good game. It was awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
You like that one?
yeah, John and Lodge is running a Numenera game for me and some others, and you know, I like it. I've been liking Numenera.
Yep. Yeah, I want to check that one out too. I'm such a fantasy geek. Since I'm pretty new to role playing, I haven't really branched out that much, but I really should get more into other settings too, other than just kind of the traditional Tolkien-esque fantasy.
Have you guys done Call of Cthulhu at all?
No.
Nah, not yet.
Okay, we are about to finish our Call of Cthulhu campaign with Matt and everything. And dude, I can't tell you how much I love that